Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man taba'a huda. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah for allowing us to meet again. And we praise Allah that we can live another day. For indeed, today, Muslims around the world, being non-Muslim as well, especially in Gaza, in Lebanon, being killed daily. They may not even see tomorrow. They live in fear. This is we have to address every day. I know we have a topic to talk about, but before we talk about the topic, we have to talk about this. This is getting worse and worse since last October, and the famous October 7 until today. It's almost a year. And we see the Palestinians has been killed worse than animals, as if they are not human beings. Yarhamukallah. It's very sad, right? We see, and we should not feel tired standing up for them. Alhamdulillah, we live in this country, and I'm proud to be the citizen of this country because I think we really stand with the Palestinians in this country. We do not bow down to the Israel and the Americans. And we should be thankful, seriously, be thankful that we get to live another day, get to have class in an air-conditioned room, alhamdulillah, get to sit, get to eat, simple basic rights, and we get to enjoy simple basic rights. And today we're going to talk about rights, right? So, but in many countries, they don't have the privilege to enjoy basic rights, you see. And today we have people, even here, we complain about, oh, aircons are not working, right? But we forget about the ni'mah from Allah that Allah have given us. Look at the media, subhanallah, right? Look at the media every day. You see people are being killed, being executed. Really, they don't think we are human beings. This is for sure. Otherwise, they will not kill us just like that. And indeed, the Muslims, we are supposed to be in one big family. Rasulullah told us that the Muslims are one body. And if one part's hurt, you will feel it. So we should feel it as if they are our children being killed. Imagine if those who have children, if you don't have, I'm sure you have siblings, you have parents, if they are sick, let alone die, if they are sick, you feel so worried about them, right? The parents, if their children are sick, the parents will not have a good night's sleep, I'm sure, right? You will wake up in the middle of the night and check on their temperature. Literally every hour you will check, right? If your parents are sick, I'm sure you will be beside them. But what about the Muslims are being killed in Gaza, in Lebanon nowadays? Do we even shed one tear? Ask ourselves. This is the right moment to check your iman. Do you shed tears for the people of the Muslims in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Rohingya? Do we cry for them? They are indeed our brothers and sisters. Really. I'm not kidding. They are our brothers and sisters. Yes, sister. Yes, go ahead. Go sound. What can we do?
We should, yeah. I believe that everyone has got a different path with regards to this, or how they are trying to help. But I also receive this kind
Okay.
So is that legit? I mean,
So what should we do? I mean, everything. Anything that you can do to help, seriously. Because I don't know, everyone has capacity, right? If you're good in writing, write. You have social media, post, share. You are given a platform to sit and speak in front of the video, speak. Speak up, don't bow down. Don't say I don't care. The bare minimum, pray. When you're in sujud, make prayer. Cry. Raise your hand and cry for them. Ask Allah to help. That's the bare minimum we can do, really. And everyone should do that. If you are the leaders of a country, definitely you're not leaders of country here. But if maybe you are close to Anwar, I don't know, right? Talk to him. Yeah, don't laugh. There are people here maybe close to the wife of Anwar Ibrahim, you never know, right? Or know the brother of Anwar Ibrahim, I don't know. Or know someone who is close to Anwar Ibrahim. Then use your connection, really, talk. Or maybe you know someone who knows Salman, the king of Saudi. I don't know. Use whatever means you have, really. Don't underestimate the people here, really. You know, they did there's this research they did, you know, how close we are. You only need to connect 3 people and you will know the next, you will know the US, the president of US, for example. Only 3, maybe 3% separate you. Yeah. So use your connection, really. So talk to people and don't feel tired about talking about this. Seriously, don't feel tired. Some people, it's been almost a year. I feel tired talking about this. No, don't. Keep talking, keep sharing until this stops. This has to stop. This has to stop. Otherwise, it will come to us. I'm serious, it will come to us. It will come to us. A lot of people, they think, it's far away. It will not come to us. Really? You really think that? It will come to you. It will literally come to you, to this country. There's no joke about it. Look at it, Lebanon. It's in Lebanon now. It's just a matter of time. It will go to another country. It will come to us. It will come to us. It's no joke. Because they think they are more superior than anyone and any other human beings. So it will come to us. So coming back to this topic today, do men and women have equal rights in Islam? So first of all, we have to establish men and women in Islam, are they human beings? Because only human beings have rights. Different rights, right? Are they creations of Allah? Yes. This is the first thing we have to establish. Why? Because in other religion, they debated about whether women are actually human beings. There's no kidding. You can Google about it. I don't want to mention about that religion, the particular religion, but it's a major religion. They debated about this, whether women are actually human beings that have soul. They debated this a few hundred years ago. More than 1,400 years ago, it's already established in Islam. Men and women, we both are human beings and we have souls. No kidding. There are many organizations, many race and many, until today, there are still races that if a daughter is born, it's a sad thing. They would even bury their daughters alive. And there's no shame about it because that's their culture. And women are enslaved, have no rights to do anything. Many races, there's no kidding. Until today, there's no kidding. But Islam established this more than 1,400 years ago. Men and women, first of all, they are creations of Allah. They are human beings. Therefore, they have rights. They have rights. So that's the first thing we have to establish. That's the first thing. That is the first thing that 1,400 years ago, when women are buried alive, daughters are buried alive in the Arabs nation, and they have no shame about it. And the way they bury daughters are not like they are infant and then they bury. No, they raise them up until 7, 8 years old, and then one day the father will just go out and then dig the grave and bury her alive. That's how they do it. Those days, I'm a Chinese. Same thing. Chinese feel shame when they have daughters. Shameful thing. They want to have son. They don't like to have daughters. Because according to them, the son will carry the name, will carry the lineage, and eventually, So they don't like daughters. There was back then, 1,400 years ago. So today, we have this Islamic phobia, talks about Islam humiliate women or enslave women. What is this all about? 1,400 years ago, we have established this. Do they have equal rights? Yes. Both men and women have equal rights. It's mentioned in the Quran. Allah says, the man and the woman have equal rights. In Surah Al-Baqarah, مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ. This is in Surah Al-Baqarah. وَلِرِجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. The only difference between men and women, Allah says, men and women, they have same rights. The only difference is the man has some degree over the woman. That's all. Darajah. Bahasa Melayu, darajat. One higher degree, that's all. And we're going to talk about this. The rights to live, the rights to be educated, the rights to be sheltered. All these men and women, the same. They have the rights. The rights to earn. Who gave 1,400 years ago? Islam allowed the woman to make a living and earn. And whatever she earns, it's hers. Nobody can touch. That's hers. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that 1,400 years ago? Whatever the women earn is hers. The man has no right to take. Until now. That's the law. Whatever she inherits, it was given the right to inherit 1,400 years ago. You can Google back after this, you can Google. The Western society allows the women to inherit when? Only a few hundred years ago. Can you imagine 1,400 years ago, Islam allowed women to inherit. And whatever she inherits, again, it's hers. Nobody can touch. It's hers. The man, yes, we inherit, but the woman has the right over it. Because the man has to take care of the woman. Say, for example, a father passed away. The son inherits. The daughters inherits. The wife also inherits. The mothers, right, also inherit. But the son has to take care of the mother. The son also has to take care of the daughter, the sister. Yes, he inherits the most, but he has to take care of them. But whatever the mothers inherit, whatever the daughters inherit, that's hers, that's theirs. The son has no right to say, I want some, give me. No. It is obliged for the man to take care of the woman. That was 1,400 years ago. Subhanallah. Which religion obliged the man to take care of the woman? Yeah. Which religion allowed the woman to inherit and does not allow other people to take their money? or even
Is this a religious thing or a cultural thing?
it's a religious thing. Yeah. It's a religious, it's mentioned in the Quran. Yeah. The woman has the right to inherit in Surah An-Nisa. Yes, it's established. It's not a cultural thing. That's why this is about in Islam. Yep. It's amazing, really. And here we talk about, today we talk about, that Islam, degrades women. Which part?
Well, in the West, we believe that hijab and
Very
the
good.
way Islamic women dress is oppressive.
Very good. So,
And
yes,
I understand that's not how you think about it. And in fact, I agree with the tenets of Islam about modesty and discretion. And I have a photo on my phone. Every religion has some manner of
dressing.
modesty for their women.
True.
For example, the Catholic nuns, just for one. But as a young Australian male, I was taught that this was oppression. Yeah?
I understand.
Oppression of
Yep.
women
Yep.
to hide them. Now, I know different now, and that's okay, but what about the Taliban in Afghanistan? What are they doing to their women? You talk about equality, but sounds to me like there's absolutely no equality there. I don't know about money, but they're not allowed to leave the house without a relative, a man
Very good.
man who is a relative. They're not allowed to sing, they're not allowed to listen to music, they're not allowed to go to school, they're not allowed to work, and it just goes on and on and on. And that Taliban are Muslims.
Understand?
So,
Very good, very good. So the brother asked a very good question. What about in Taliban, in Afghanistan, the Taliban women are being, oppressed and things like that. Well, okay, that's a separate story. Of course, we don't want to, we are not here to examine each country's practices, right? We talk about what Allah and the Messenger ﷺ have taught us in Islam, has legislated the rules, right? So that's what we are here to talk about. Because rules are like this. The human beings may not apply the rules, right? Correct or not? So do you agree that? So there are some countries, of course, they don't really practice the religion, right? Then we have a problem. This is actually a very good point. So when you don't practice the religion, then you see problem. But if you truly practice the religion, then you will not have problem. This is why the time of the Prophet ﷺ, if we examine their time, they are the one that the golden era of Islam, when they practice Islam and the Prophet is there, right? Everything is perfect. There is no oppression of women and things like that. Even the Prophet ﷺ, when he treat his own wives, right? There's no oppression. Yes, hijab, the West will say this is oppression to the woman. How? Right? So
let me stress, this is the opinion of the lesser educated Australian male.
I see.
Do you understand?
Understand,
There's
yep,
a
yep.
difference between that and...
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the propaganda that the media is trying to portray. See, this is how Islamic phobia has been spread, right? So of course we said no, this is not oppressive. Women, they dress the way Allah wants them to dress. This is first of all, is obedience, right? This is obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's modesty, like you just mentioned. It's correct. It's modesty, right? This is how it differentiates woman and man, right? So we can tell from far the woman is coming, right? So many things, if we can talk about it, just hijab itself is already a topic, right? Of course. But here we talk about equal rights. Of course, Allah has given equal rights to men and women. There is no difference. Of course, the difference is only on the darajah, only on the responsibility. That's all. That is all. Like, very good point the brother brought up. Women are allowed to work. Yeah, women are allowed to work. But they are not obliged to work, you see. Unlike the man, we are obliged to work and feed the family. Women, they are allowed to work if they want to. And whatever they earn, it's theirs, again, it's theirs. The husband cannot just say, oh, so since you work, so can you please pay the electricity bill? No, he's not allowed to do that. Yeah. But if she wants to help, she will be rewarded. She will be rewarded for helping the household and all that. So that's the misconception about women are not allowed to work. No. Again, women are not allowed to be educated. No. In fact, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, women are educated. The wives of the Prophet ﷺ, Aisha, for example, one of them, she's one of the greatest scholars. Among the companions, can you imagine? And there are things that even the companion says that if we don't understand, we don't know, we will go to Aisha and ask her. Yeah. Today, actually, we do have great scholars, and they are women. The only thing is, you may not know them. That's all. But they are great scholars. Yeah. Because we are, busy with only men scholars. But there are women scholars. Yeah. Women scholars are great. And if you look into it, you will know. There are many great scholars are women. And I always say this, right? I always say this. Imam Shafi, great scholars. Imam Malik, great scholars. Imam Ahmad, great scholars. Who raised them? Yeah. If you read their biography, you will know they have great mothers. They all have great mothers. Great mothers. Yeah, education starts from the mothers. Yeah. So, get yourself educated. If you want to have great offspring, make sure, mothers, you are first one. You have to be educated first. Your child will learn how to pray with you first, because the man always outside. Your child will learn prayer from you first. He will Zohor with you. He will Asar with you. So if you don't know how to pray, you will not raise great scholars. You will not raise great children. Really. Your children will always start with you first. That's how. If you have time, you teach your children to read Quran. Mothers, you must be educated. So yes, right to be educated, that's the basic right. The women have the right. Men have the right. To be sheltered, you have the right. Ask your husband to provide shelter to you, accommodation to you. Of course, every families have different standards, right? If you're rich, live in a palace. There's no harm in it. It's not haram. If you're poor, you live small house. If you're middle class, you live bil ma'ruf. It's all about by your standard, your reasonable, standards. Don't go overboard. And Allah will not overburden any single soul. Right? Don't go into debts. In Chinese we say, 没有这样大个头，不要戴这样大个帽, huh? You don't have such a big head, don't wear such a big hat. Right? So everything go mu'tadil, the bil ma'ruf, the reasonable. What else? The right to be security, right? To be protected. Same thing. The women have the right to be protected. Similarly, the men also have the right to be living in a safe place. But when war comes, that's the difference. The men, we are obliged to fight. The women, no. Yeah. The women, no. Or here you have the Western says, oh, the women also want to be drafted. Yeah, go ahead and ask them to draft, see if they want to go. But in Islam, no. The men are obliged to go to war, not the woman, not the women. So that's the difference, right? So the difference is always in when the situation comes. But the rights are the same. Everyone has the same rights. Equal, but they are not identical. They are not exactly the same. Just like the women have the right to inherit, the men also have, but the portions are not the same. Just because it's not the same doesn't mean it's unfair. Because fairness doesn't mean everything must be the same, right? Must be divided equally. They say, oh, of course, it's divided equally. No, it's not. Right? So, for example, if you have 2 wives, the first wife have 2 children, second wife do not have children. Do you divide the money equally? If you want to be fair, you divide equally. Is that fair? Is that fair? Brothers, is that fair? You don't have 2 wives, huh? Is that fair? You have 1 wife, you have 2 children. The other wife do not have children. Do you divide your money equally? No, right? You have another 2 children. They need to eat more, right? Similarly, time, right? So you don't just divide equally. Dividing equally doesn't mean it's the same, it's fair. So fairness means you give to the right portion, to the right place, right? So same thing. So rights, we are equal, but they are not identical. So it goes by situation. Actually, there's another question here. I was told I have to answer another question. The second question is what? Something like...
Is ta'aruf necessary?
So this is about pre-marriage. Before getting married. Is ta'aruf? Ta'aruf means getting to know each other, man and woman, right? Is this necessary? Right? You have a single man. He wants to marry this woman, right? So is ta'aruf or getting to know each other or introducing to each other, is this necessary? Is this necessary? So the Prophet ﷺ actually encouraged us to get to know each other, but with boundaries. With boundaries. Right? Can you talk to the potential spouse? Yes, you're allowed, but not in seclusive. Right? You with the mahram, means with the women's family, with the chaperone, yes, or with the man's family also. As long as you have another family members, right, then you're allowed to talk about. You can get to know each other. You are also encouraged to see each other, to see face to face, so that you can see physically, is he attractive to you or is she attractive to you? You can ask questions, but not, the topics must not be haram topic. Huh? So you talk about like what do you like to do, what's your hobby, what do you do, what's your favorite food, right? Do you like nasi lemak, do you like spicy food? And you can talk to each other with the family members around, right? This is ta'aruf. What is not allowed is when you text each other, you talk in secret, you start to say, I miss you, you miss me. This is haram. Because everything comes, the zina comes from all these small things, right? You start to touch each other, shake your hand, you shake my hand, I salam you, you salam me, right? You try, the girl speaks in a very flirtatious tone, right? How are you? Like that, right? I'm good, right? So you know what I mean, right? I'm sure you know, right? So these are the one that's not. But what is allowed? Yes, you are encouraged to see each other to the extent that if you are a niqabi, meaning you wear like this, right? A hijab, that you are allowed to open your niqab just to let the man to see you. Of course, in front of your family members, right? So that the man can see you, right? It's good. It's good for both parties. Because you also want to see your future husband, right? Make sure he's a real man, for example? Does he have a beard? Because the real man has beard. The trans do not have beard. You may laugh about it, but really, there are people, even here in Malaysia, there are people trying to get married, men and men trying to get married, women and women trying to get married, and they forge documentation because they are homosexual. Because in Islam, men marry women. Yeah, this is the conditions to get married. Men and women get married, not man and man, woman and woman. So there are cases, people trying to forge the documents to say, oh, I'm a man. Or in other situations, there are even married women have problem with their existing husband, ran away and met another man and trying to get married to another man. Yeah. And that the other person get cheated. He found out that actually the woman is married to another man. Right? So many cases. So this is why it's good to ta'aruf, to get to know each other, talk. Are you married? Ask. Ask the woman, are you married? Ask her. Same thing, the woman can ask, are you married? He may have another wife. Yeah. May not be in Malaysia. You never know. Let him talk, get to know each other. If he has already have another wife, if you don't mind to be the co-wife, why not? Right? The problem is he already have 4. Then he's trying to get the 5th one. So all these questions you can ask, you can get to know each other, you can even talk about after marriage, what is your what are your demands, right? Yeah. What do you want from what are your expectations from the spouse, from the man? I would like to have allowance, 2,000 ringgit per month allowance. Ask, talk about this, right? Talk about this. All this must be trashed out, ironed out before you get married. These are ta'aruf. So ta'aruf is, I would not say is wajib, but it's something that is highly recommended to do it. Yeah. Because sometimes there is no harm that your parents pick for you. And some men, they don't mind. They say, pick for me because you know me more. You know me. I'm your son. You know me. Just go and pick pick a spouse for me, pick a wife for me. And they go ahead and pick. And then they don't mind. And I have heard many scenarios or situations that they married very happily after that. Yes, brother.
Chef, can you please explain the difference between wajib and makruh?
Wajib and makruh. Oh, that's totally different. So the brother asked, what is wajib? Wajib and makruh. What is makruh? He heard about this. Okay, first of all, before I explain this, in Islam, the do's and don'ts are divided into 5 categories. So you have the wajib. The wajib means obligation. Obligated, you must do. If you don't do, you are blameworthy. You are subjected to be punished. Okay? Like, for example, like what? The 5 times prayer. These are wajib. Fasting in the month of Ramadan. These are wajib. Wajiban. You must do it. Obligations. The opposite of that is called haram. Haram means totally prohibited. You're not allowed to do it. The famous one, you're not allowed to eat pork. Famous one, everyone knows. You're not allowed to drink alcoholic drink, khamar. You're not allowed to gamble. You are not allowed to worship other than Allah, shirk. This is the greatest sin. If you die upon this, na'udhu Jahannam is yours. Jannah is prohibited. So these are the haram. Then, one lower degree of wajib is called sunnah or mustahab. Okay? Something highly recommended for you to do. Highly recommended for you to do. It's not wajib, it's not obligation, it's not obligated, but you should do it. If you do it, you get rewarded. If you don't do it, you are not blameworthy. You're not subject for punishment. But it's highly rewarded. Like what? Like beside the 5 times prayer, there are some other sunnah prayers that you can do, like the night prayers, wake up in the middle of the night and pray, or 12 rakat, other than the 5 times prayer. There are other, the 2 rakat before Fajr, for example. Similarly on fasting, there are days that we are recommended to fast. For example, fast on Monday and Thursday, fast on the 3 white days in a month, every month. The 3 white days means 13, 14, 15 when full moon. Full moon. These are the highly recommended acts. The opposite of sunnah is what we call makruh. Makruh. It's not haram, but it's something that highly recommended for you not to do. Stay away from it. Stay away from it. Don't do. Yeah. Because it's very disliked. It's called, makruh means dislike. Something dislike. Like what? Can someone give me a good example? The famous example, smoking, people say. Smoking is makruh, not haram, but it's makruh. What other things is makruh?
Don't open your car door when there's a bike coming.
When there's a what? Don't open your what? Okay.
Sorry.
Makruh, like, for example, you eat something strong, like durian, and then you start going to the prayer, right? Then the person next to you, right? These are the makruh acts that you are not supposed to do, but it does not falls into haram. You are not blameworthy. Right? If you do it, it's okay, you're not blameworthy, but highly recommended for you to leave. And then in the middle, this is what we call mubah, halal. You can do, it's permissible to do. It's permissible. It's not something recommended, it's not something makruh, something you can do. Like for example, what? Eat and drink. Yeah, you want to eat and drink, you want to drink water, you want to eat nasi lemak, it's nothing, no problem. It's halal, you can do. It's not highly recommended for you to eat not nasi lemak. It's not highly recommended. Do you have any evidence to prove that it's halal? No. But is it halal? Yes, because the food is halal. Yeah. So it's just halal. You can do, you can wear jeans, no problem, for example. I want to wear jeans, go ahead. You don't have to wear, certain fabric, for example. So this is halal. It's called mubah. So these are the 5 categories. So the brother asked, what is wajib? What is makruh? I already answered. Right? These are the 5 categories. So when you become Muslims, you will learn about this, then you will learn this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how do you want to know whether you want to do this or not? This is when you know these acts, whether they are wajib or sunnah. And so as a Muslim, the mindset is simple, straightforward. Wajib, you do. Haram, stay away. Sunnah, try your best to do. Because a lot of people say, sunnah, then I don't have to do. There are some born Muslims, they say, if it's sunnah, no need to do. Makruh, do. Because it's not haram, so I do a lot. No. So switch your mindset. Sunnah, try your best to do. If you cannot do, it's okay. Makruh, try your best to stay away. If you cannot stay away, then it's okay, do. Right? Oh, my friend asked me to go durian. I have to go. My friend from far away come over. Ask me to durian. Then Zoho is only half an hour from now. So what should I do? It's okay, go eat durian with your friend. Your friend came from so far, right? Then you solat with him because both of you have durian smell, so it's okay. So then, halal is halal, you do, right? Okay, so I've covered 2 questions. What time is it now? Is there any questions before we end? Because we have to, yes, brother. Walaikum salam.
It's actually within the last point you made before the comparison. You said that digital interaction is not permissible or recommended between a couple if they are not married yet. Between a boy and a girl.
Okay.
Digital interaction would you consider haram or would not be recommended?
The ta'aruf, you mean? The ta'aruf. You mean you mean the get to know each other? Yeah, it's permissible. It's permissible. Yeah, it's permissible.
Digital interaction, like WhatsApp communication.
No, this is haram. You're not supposed to do that.
So
yeah.
my question is based on that. So if a man and a woman are meeting for the first time and their parents or their relatives and someone is supposed to accompany the girl or the boy, is it for the purposes of testimony, which means that if there's some promises made to each other and tomorrow there's a problem, then that family or relatives come out and say that actually you did promise 2,000 ringgit a month
I see.
salary or
Very good, very good, very good.
money or whatever. And if that is the case, then would it not be better to do it online where things don't disappear anymore? So
Very
if
good.
I meet somebody for the first time and I'm chatting with her on WhatsApp and I promise her 2,000 plus if she screenshots that, I'm
No, okay.
pretty much guaranteed to pay her.
Very good question. So the brother asked, what if, during the discussion you talk about the conditions, I want 2,000 ringgit per month, but maybe the family members can be the witness and all that when there's a problem in the future. Well, actually, brothers, all these conditions you discuss, right? Whatever you discuss, you can actually put it in the akad. You can put it in the contract. You can put it in the nikah contract. Yes, you can actually put that. So in the future, if there's a breach in contract, you can bring it to the court and the judge can say that. Like for example, the woman can say, I would not like you to marry the second wife, for example. They can put it in the contract, no problem. They
cannot put that in the contract.
some scholar actually says.
No, they cannot put that in the contract.
They cannot?
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
They can't.
They cannot put that?
No.
Because it goes against the...
Halal, they can't make haram.
Okay, so the brother actually said cannot. Yeah. So there are things that they cannot put in the contract. Yes, yeah. So there are things that they can put in the contract.
But my reason for asking would be like in today's day and age, it's a lot more possible that youngsters coming out of their teens, out of university, college, or even in university college, there are a lot, the proximity of them being closer is much more compared to probably back in those days. So I'm just wondering, what would be considered halal as an interaction today between two who are looking to engage or to get married? If it's only for the first time meeting with, let's say, respective guides or supervisors or parents, versus if it is kept physically apart but still digitally online, which means that there is no potential for physical harm, but obviously the niyat can still be wrong if you're the two of you just chatting in a private setting, let's say WhatsApp or all these Facebooks and all that stuff. So would that still be classified as a wrong approach to get to know somebody?
You mean like you have live?
Instead of live. So with live, obviously somebody should be there because there's physical presence, but virtual.
Yeah, it's okay. As long as there's someone there. Yeah, there's someone there listening to the discussion. Because the discussion can go, beyond boundaries. Right? If it's only two of them. Yes. If there's another person, yes. There's another person. Because the other person can be in overseas, right? Right? So you want to discuss, you want to talk. It may not have to happen face to face. Yes. Any other questions before we end? This okay.
Ustaz said they grew their daughter till 7 or 8 years only then they buried them. I would like to know why they allowed them to grow first.
Oh, this culture, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. This is the Jahiliyyah practice during that time, They do that. Yeah. There are cultures, they buried their children, their infant straight away. But there are cultures, they raise them first, then they bury. So these are the culture, Jahiliyyah culture, the ignorance culture. Yeah.
Okay, that's one. Why people always focus very much on Palestine? What about those Syrian, those in China, Nigeria, and Somalia?
Why do we only focus in Palestine and not other countries? No, actually, we speak about other countries. We should not only speak about Palestinian. Of course, we speak about all the people are being oppressed. Yeah, all the people are being oppressed. We speak. It's just that today the media all focus on the Gaza. Yeah. That's the only thing. Yeah. But the Muslims, the scholars actually speaks about this. Speak about all other countries that are being oppressed, not just about the Palestinian. Unfortunately, the other countries they don't get that much of attention. Yep. Okay, we take a break before we go for level 2. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika Asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi